The 2021 season ended in unthinkable fashion for the Indianapolis Colts, getting trounced by the lowly Jacksonville Jaguars in Week 18, eliminating them from the postseason. It was enough for Colts brass and ownership to turn the page on the Carson Wentz era, with Jim Irsay making it quite clear who was responsible for the team underachieving. And to replace Wentz, Indy swung a trade for former NFL MVP Matt Ryan in a move the Colts are hoping brings more stability to a talented roster.
I am so excited to see what can happen here. I'm coming into a roster that has been set up to win.
Ryan will certainly have more tools at his disposal than he did in recent years with Atlanta, including three-time All-Pro guard Quentin Nelson and the 2021 rushing champ Jonathan Taylor, who also has lofty goals for this upcoming season.
You try to be the best every year so that the coaches and teammates trust you day in and day out and know exactly when 28 is on the field, we're going to get high level of play.
In free agency, the Colts, as they normally do, practice patience, but they did bring in former Defensive Player of the Year Stephon Gilmore. And if he can return to the form he showed in 2019, it'll be a big boost for a defense that finished near the bottom of the league in interceptions. Vegas believes the Colts upgraded from last season and are favored to win their first AFC South title since 2014. Will they live up to expectations? Countdown to Week 1 continues.
And let's talk about these Colts and how this season could shape up with them with our guys on site. Senior NFL writer Pete Prisco and former NFL executive Rick Spielman. Gentlemen, good to see you. The preseason win total is set at 9.5. Pete, are they going over that or are they going under that for you?
Oh, I think they're going over that. I think the division is bad as a whole. Look at Jacksonville and Houston. They're two young teams trying to build something. What does Tennessee have at the quarterback position? There's some questions there with Ryan Tannehill. And this team has Matt Ryan. And I think Matt Ryan is the difference between a team that can win the division and a team that can get, a team that gets bumped out in the last game of the year. So I think they get over 9.5. I think Matt Ryan's the difference.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you here. I think they're in one of the weakest, if not the weakest divisions in the NFL right now. And you got Jacksonville, who we saw earlier, I think is going to be an improved team, but not ready to take over the division. And if you look at their schedule, they have the fourth or fifth easiest schedule at this point in the NFL season coming up.
How many wins?
I'm going to say 11.
11 wins.
Double-digit wins, both going with the over. The Colts 25-1 to win the Super Bowl, 13-1 to win the AFC, -120 to win the division. You guys have talked about the weakness in this division. Just looking at this division, Rick, are you comfortable with that number, -120?
Yeah, no, I'm going to say that they're going to win this division hands down. It may be a little bit of a stretch on how they go against the Tennessee Titans, but they'll beat Jacksonville twice. They'll beat the Houston Texans twice. And then they got a pretty easy schedule going all the way through. They have a few tough games, but I think they're talented enough to do that. And then hands down, they'll win this AFC South. But I really question how far they can advance in the postseason once they get there because of how loaded the AFC conference is.
Yeah, I think they'll win the division. I think that's as far as I'm going to go. I'll take them to win the division. You said they own Jacksonville. They win 2 against Jacksonville. They haven't won down in Jacksonville in a long time. They don't sweep them ever. That's going to be a tougher game, you think. But you're right. The schedule's favorable. The division isn't great. I'll take them to win the division, but I don't think they're going to do anything more than that.
And you guys both picked Jacksonville to go over their win total into double digits possibly. So certainly going to be 2 tough games for the Colts if it shapes up that way. All right, let's talk.
I just want to correct you. It was, 8-8-1.
That's right.
8-8-1. Trying to get to 500.
And I didn't say they get the double digits either.
Close to double digits. Over their win total, which was set at what, 9.5, Pete?
6.5.
6.5.
6.5.
So they're going to get close. All right, let's talk about quarterback Matt Ryan here. First season last year with under 4,000 yards passing. He did throw 20 touchdowns. The preseason prop is set at 3,750 and a hook in terms of the yardage, 24.5 in terms of touchdowns. Does Ryan go over or under one or both for you, Pete?
I think he's going over both of them. Look, you mentioned it. Last year, he had a streak of 4,000 yard passing seasons plus snapped at 10. and he was just under 4,000 yards. And that was a bad Falcons team. And talking to him today, he's excited about this group. He feels like they're going to be able to throw the ball off play action because of Jonathan Taylor. And there's going to be a lot of chunk plays, even though they're not fast outside. I'm going to take him over the yardage number because I think it's low, and I'm going to take him over the touchdown number as well.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you as well. And, you know, besides Michael Pittman out there, I don't know if anyone really knows what these receivers, but I'm going to disagree. Just watching today, I thought they do have some speed outside. And if Campbell can come along, because he was such a great
But they're with ifs, though.
Well, that's what we're doing. We're doing a what-if show.
Well, if Campbell stays on the field, if Pierce can play as a rookie, yeah, there's a lot of ifs involved.
Yeah, and if we can get down to Cincinnati to get through this show, that'd be great.
And when you look at Ryan's numbers in a dome, I mean, they're comparable to a former Colts great Peyton Manning, so it's certainly not inconceivable that he's going to have a huge season here, even at age 37. I mean, the good news is, though, he doesn't have to do it all. They have the reigning rushing champion in Jonathan Taylor, over 1,800 yards, 18 touchdowns in 2021. His yardage prop is set at 1,425 and a hook, and then the touchdown total at 12.5 for 2022. Rick, I mean, when you look at those numbers, is he over or under?
Oh, there's no question he's going over that. He's the focal point of their offense, and without him, I don't know if their offense is going to be as good. So you know he's going to get a lot of touches. He's only 23 years old. We were talking earlier, Pete, and just how many touches he's already had in his career. And you always talk about a running back's longevity and how much tread they have left on the tire. And I think at his age, even though he's got a lot of carries, he'll still get a lot of carries because the only way they're going to win games is by having Jonathan Taylor healthy and the ball in his hands.
So you went over.
Over.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they're both going over. Look, I don't think he's going to get the same number of rushing yards he had a year ago. That's a high number at 1,800. Somewhere between 1,400 and 1,800 I think he gets to. And again, I think they're going to be better throwing the football than they were a year ago. They won't lean on him as much. 330-something carries last year. They got to cut that down a little bit. He had 900 carries as a collegiate at Wisconsin. That's always concerning, but he'll get over those numbers.
18-11 the yardage total last year, averaged 5.5 yards per carry, becoming just the 9th player to do that while rushing for over 300 times, as you alluded to, Pete. All right, Michael Pittman, you guys have mentioned it, top receiving target. He led all receivers on the team with targets, receptions, and receiving yards and receiving touchdowns in 2021. He had just over 1,000 yards last season with those 6 touchdowns. The prop for 2022 is 1,025 and a hook for yardage, 6.5 touchdowns. What do you think about those numbers, Pete?
I'm going under, particularly on the yardage number. I think, look, I know he's their number one option, but they don't have a number one option. It's a group full of 2s and 3s, and that's going to be the way they're going to spread the ball out. They're going to get the ball to a lot of guys. They're going to use the tight ends a lot. They're going to get Hines involved in the passing game. So, no, I'm going to go under.
Well, you're wrong because they're going to go over. Because
you copied my paper until this. So, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to get the hook as we get out of here, whatever that means, but what you're referring to. But he'll be over that because he's the only true receiving threat that has a history of producing in this league. They got a lot of young talent that they're really excited about, but that's still an if. Until they do that, Pittman will be the main focus of this offense and get the most balls.
Big things expected for the Indianapolis Colts. Former NFL executive Rick Spielman, senior NFL writer Pete Prisco in Indianapolis at training camp on Tuesday. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Great to see you, as always. Our guys think the Colts will be better in a number of areas, including the quarterback position. As you take a look at quarterbacks under Frank Reich, Matt Ryan in his first year, what's he going to do? Carson Wentz at experiment just didn't work out. Phillip Rivers, nice job in 2020 going 11-5. Of course, Jacoby Brissett, who is now QB1 for the Cleveland Browns for the foreseeable future. And of course, Andrew Luck back in 2018 took them to 10-6. Rivers and Luck, the only double-digit winning quarterbacks so far. Can Ryan do it in 2022?
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.